We are back, and before my next guest became a doctor, he had a career in culinary. Now, by combining a dash of his cooking talent and a pinch of medical expertise, he has created the perfect recipe for a healthier life, known as Grassroots Gourmet. Welcome to the show, Dr. Michael Fenster.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
All right, so tell me, before we start this,
Sure.
tell me a little bit about the Grassroots approach.
Well, the Grassroots Gourmet approach is based on authenticity, being real, and eating real food, which is really what's missing in the modern Western diet.
Okay.
And we have decided really to focus on the quantity of what we eat, right? Everybody out there is supersizing this,
right.
You know, getting 5 of this for and not focusing on the quality of the food. And when it comes to a healthful diet, that is what's really important. It's about the quality of what we eat, not the quantity.
All right, so when people say, I gotta stay away from red wheat, that's not true at all, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You know, we tend to put things into these big categories.
Okay.
Meat, protein, fat. But it's much more complicated like that. We shouldn't profile. We shouldn't palate profile.
Okay.
When we talk about red meat, we have processed red meat, which studies have shown really does correlate with the development of diseases, cardiovascular disease, cancer, increased mortality, those sorts of things. But when we started to look at fresh red meats, we found that really it doesn't have that same correlation. And then think about this, which would be earth-shattering.
Please tell me, because I'm waiting, I'm salivating.
When we let cows and other animals that we use do what they're supposed to do, which is like walk in the field and eat grass and not be pumped up with steroids and hormones and everything else, we actually get red meat that has a different composition. Not only a tremendously better flavor, but a different composition of fats and the amounts of fats and types of fats. And what we find is that red meat starts to resemble something like fresh wild salmon that we think is so important and we know is so good for you and so delicious as well.
All right, good. So what do we got going here today?
Well, in honor of what we just talked about, we're going to prepare a coffee-spiced filet, grass-fed organic beef. And then we're going to top that with a chimichurri sauce to break those constituents of the modern Western diet which enslave us. Just endless layers of sugar, salt, and fat.
That's right. That's right.
So,
all right.
Here you go. I'm going to give you the whisk, and you notice I start here because it's all about the size of your whisk, right?
And it's all about the whisk, right?
It is. So we're going to, I'll add these in if you can just whisk them together. We got a little bit of fresh ground pepper.
Okay.
We've got some coffee, and this is the same ground coffee that you have in the morning. We've got some fresh ground cumin.
Oh, beautiful.
We've got some chili powder.
Chili powder.
And we've got a little bit of salt. So go ahead and just stir. Yeah, I'm just going to use a little bit of the wrist action there.
There you go.
And if you want to spice it up a little bit, we can use a little bit of additional red pepper flake. And we've got some mixed right up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take that and we're going to put that on.
While you're doing this, tell me a little about the new book that you come out.
The Fallacy of the Calorie really addresses why the modern Western diet is killing us and how to stop it. And it's all about eating real, authentic, quality foods like this. So many people think, well, if I'm going to do this, it's all about deprivation. And there is no salvation in deprivation. It's all about thank you. It's all about, you know, sustainable diet. Things like organic, humane, fresh-raised beef like this is great for the planet, but it's also good for us. It's a diet that we can sustain because it's delicious food. We eat that day after day. And it also sustains us nutritionally. Our bodies feel good. And so when we get something like this, if you can just pop that on, we'll put that right on the plate and sizzle it off. Oh, look at that. And the other great thing about this is this can be done several days ahead of time, actually. And if you just put it on a cookie sheet in the back of your refrigerator, what it does is it allows the air to circulate. And what that will do is kind of dry age the beef a little bit. So it takes the moisture content out. And it's important to have it elevated on like a little cookie sheet so the air will go out. And it really concentrates that flavor, makes it extra delicious.
All right, beautiful. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. And don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to whip up a mouth-watering chimichurri sauce for this steak. You don't want to miss this. When Healthy Lifestyle with Eraldo, back in a moment. And we are back again with board-certified interventional cardiologist, Dr. Michael Fenster, who is also the author of a new book, The Fallacy of the Calorie. And before the break, we started this steak recipe. So what do we do next?
Well, we have started sizzling. We brought the flame. Now we got to bring the flavor.
Ooh,
So we are going to
really
make
good.
a chimichurri sauce, a roasted tomatillo and Asian pear chimichurri sauce. Fantastic.
wow.
And this is great not only on steaks and red meat, but on pork, on chicken, on poultry. It even makes it, believe it or not, an absolutely fantastic salad dressing.
All right, sounds great. So let's get right to it.
Okay, so this is very simply, it's almost like a vinaigrette. So it's olive oil based.
Okay.
And so we're going to add some olive oil here. And you know, olive oil comes in a whole variety of different kinds of flavors,
Right.
and certainly a whole number of different kinds of expenses.
Okay.
But this is where you want to use the good stuff.
Okay.
Because this is where the flavor is really important. We're going to put it on there. We're not using it for cooking.
Right.
We're using it for flavor. So this is where you want the extra virgin, really good olive oil stuff.
Okay.
And one of the great things about this that I love is the basic is sort of just these herbs and the olive oil and the vinegar, but you can add things that you like that are in season. We're going to be adding some roasted tomatillos.
So what do you got here going on here?
So these are some of the herbs here. So we've got some oregano if you want to just kind of toss these in.
Oregano. Just throw it right in there?
Just throw it right in there, and we've got some chopped parsley, and if you want to grab, we've got some flat leaf parsley as well. Then we've also got some shallot, and if you can grab that little bit of garlic right there and toss that in.
Just put it right in there?
Yeah, just put everything in there. And for the folks at home, everything except the chunks of the Asian pear and except for the bay leaves, you can just add this into a food processor and pulse it. You know, a little less pulsing if you like it chunky style, a little more if you want a finer puree.
Okay.
And again, we're just going to kind of wisp this up. We're going to add a
So
little.
let me tell you something before you go on. Tell me about the transition from a star chef to the medical field. I'm curious about that while you're doing that.
Well, this is interesting because people think, wow, you know, this is some strange connection, but really, until the last several hundred years, most of the medical doctors, and in fact, the early cookbooks came from physicians because dietetics, food, was such an important therapy. But we've kind of moved away from that in our modern age. If you look, the very first cookbooks from ancient Greece that we know of were written by physicians.
And I'm part Greek, so I know.
So there you go. The cradle of the Mediterranean diet, and this fits right in there.
Oh, wow.
Because what we use, and one of the reasons I love the Mediterranean diet as one of my flavor profiles, is because we're using, you know, herbs and spices and not just sugar, salt, and fat that we find in modern. Can you add that in? That's the, go ahead. That's a little bit of honey for a little bit of sweetness.
All of it, or just
all that in there. We're going to add a bit of little gin juice, a little bit of basil.
So how do we finish this dish up then?
So what we've done is we've roasted some tomatillos, and we'll kind of add those in here. Those are kind of pureed up, and then we're going to add a little bit of our sherry. And if you can grab that bowl of Asian pears,
All right, just put them all in there.
just put them all in there,
All right.
and then I'm going to add some bay leaves, and then you want to leave it alone. And again,
leave it
like
simmer or
chili,
something, or?
this is something that is actually better if you can let it sit in the
let it
refrigerator
simmer?
several times. All these guys are going to come to a party. They're going to get to hang out. They're going to get to know each other.
Right.
And it's going to make for a much better finished chimichurri sauce.
Oh, beautiful.
So we've got this over here. We've got a little bit already done. So I'll plate this up.
Okay.
And we've got our wonderful steak.
Okay.
And then we're going to add this over
this
here.
in there?
Yeah, and if you want to just take a few of these chopped tomatoes, and again, you can top this with whatever you like. We've got this here.
Well, we have.
And then we've got a little bit of blue cheese.
All right, we got about 30 seconds
And
left.
to
I'm
complete
gonna
the
just
Mediterranean
take the glass
diet,
here.
we've got to have a glass
We got
of
everything going on
vino.
here. Hey, salud, cheers.
Salud.
All right, thank you for being with us today. And thank to all of you for watching today. And remember, take care of your body today, and it will take care of you tomorrow. I'll see you next time.
Like how you do it, baby. I can really show you how to move it, baby. Yeah. See, I like how you do